Okay, moving on. We're gonna go on to kettlebells. So all these kettlebell exercises involve my elbows being up higher than my head. If you can't do, put your hand on your shoulder and go up and down. If you feel like a lot of pain there, if you get some sort of shoulder impingement, you don't want to do these. These are not for you. Also, if you got your shoulders back and you reach up and you can't get your hand up this high, don't feel bad, but also don't do these exercises, right? If you can't get your hand up this high, then you don't want to put weight in your hand and do it. It's just going to make things worse. If that's an issue that you have, do some of these other things that are a little less offensive to your muscle group, to your mobility, and then kind of work through a series of stretches, build up to that eventually, but don't start there if you can't do that, okay? Let's start off with some halos. This is a nice little warm up. Grab it by the horns, have it about chin height, and you're gonna go back, big, slow, controlled circles. Don't let this thing slam into your head, not only for safety purposes, but also just a good indicator of proper mobility going around. Just, again, as big a range of motion as you can while keeping control. You wanna have a nice, keep your gut kind of packed. You don't be slopping around all over the place, jacking your spine up to try to get in position. Okay, go back the other way, about 15 or so each direction. Halos. Waiter walks. Anytime you got something above your head, you want your shoulders packed. This is a great cue. I don't remember where I got it, but I've been stealing it and teaching it. You want to reach back to where your shirt collar is, and you want to kind of feel what that tension feels like back there. Your shoulders are packed just naturally by being in this angle. So when you extend, you want to keep that same amount of tension. These are great. I used to have a lot of like herky-jerky motion in my shoulders. I could like feel like the kind of the bone around the joint. These kind of exercises, these overhead kettlebell static stabilizing exercises, really built a lot of supporting infrastructure in my shoulders. And they've been way more comfortable doing overhead stuff. So these are wonderful. All right, so I got this, I'm in this waiter walk position. Normally, if you got like a heavy, I wouldn't go too heavy with these, but if you do, it's nice to keep an eye on it, right? You don't want to drop it on your face. And you could do waiter walks, right? Keep your guts tight and you're walking straight, keeping that packed shoulder. You don't, of course, have to walk. You can just hold this position. Another thing I like is kind of like doing a little bit of external rotation while I'm up there. So I'm moving my hand inside and out. My whole shoulder's doing that. So I'm kind of opening things up from that position. Windmills. So I'm gonna bring this up. It's kind of like a bent press. If you want to do these, you want to point your toes in the opposite direction of the side the bell's on. So I'm on the right side, toes are pointed left. I'm gonna keep my eye on the kettlebell the entire time. And I'm just gonna kind of run, it's like I'm feeling myself up. I'm gonna run my hand down the inside of my leg. I'm not gonna press charges, I'm just gonna do the exercise. I'm gonna run my hand down the inside of the leg. Keep an eye on that kettlebell. Just go down as far as you feel comfortable. Keep that shoulder packed. Bring it back up nice and tight, reaching for the sky the whole time. Dumbbells or small plates. When I say small plates, I'm talking like 2.5 pounds. I like to kind of do like this, kind of a horn sort of deal. Put your fingers through it. Start off with some scarecrows. Scarecrows are fantastic. They're one of my favorite overall shoulder exercises. Hinge back, push my butt back. Drop these down straight under me. I'm gonna retract my shoulders, get them in position, okay? I'm gonna bring my elbows up and I'm just gonna rotate as high up as I can go, back and forth, keeping my shoulders packed the whole time. You can mix in, they call these snow angels. So when I go up, I'm gonna punch out, keeping my arm in line with my ears. That's what I'm aiming for anyway. Out and then slowly bring it down, keeping the shoulder blades tight the whole time. Retract, elbows back, rotate up, push it out. Snow angels. We got arm circles, yeah. Arm circles with plates, light plates, if you're feeling so inclined. Kind of a no-brainer. Go down to using the bench here. When you're using the bench, especially when it's chest supported in this position here, I don't have to worry about stabilizing so much with my core, etc. I can really just focus on the movement itself. So just kind of use it as a tool to change things up a little bit. Pinky flies, okay. You can go a little bit heavier on these. These are actually pretty darn nasty. They're wonderful for just working the rear delts at the end of like a shoulder day or something, or in the beginning if you want to really get juiced up. All right, so I'm leading with my pinky side. Create just a slight angle, you know, I don't know, 140 degrees or so. And I'm gonna go straight back, lock it out. You kind of add a little bit of pop at the end there. Just get that little extra range of motion. The pinky side's great because it just really works. This rear delt really dials it in. The scarecrows I was talking about before are wonderful. They're a little bit harder. You really got to focus. Retract up, out, into the snow angel. I mean, you hear me struggling with 3 pounds, right? These are no joke, but they're wonderful. You could get like a dowel rod. This is just like a cheap 1-inch plate easy curl bar. You can go back behind your head, out, keeping your hands reaching for the ceiling the whole time. So back behind your neck, and you could drop your neck a little bit if you want to. Not if it hurts. When you drop your neck doing these, you want to tuck your chin actively. You don't want to just let your head drop down. It's going to pull on your spine. It's not going to be good for you. So tuck your chin if you got to get your fat head out of the way, like mine. So we could do the same kind of thing here with the bands and the pull, whatever you're using. I can kind of go behind the neck. Do these sort of old school looking lat pull downs. You could also do it on the front. Again though, I'm going light here. I'm not going heavy, not doing anything crazy. Because I'll hurt myself. You might be able to get away with it, but I can't. I know my body. Lat pullovers work really well from here too. And these are kind of nifty. You do a pullover and then retract at the bottom position. And it's just an interesting amount of resistance. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together while I'm locked in. My lats are keeping it there. And then I hit my upper back. Bring it out. You can even kind of mix all these together as a warm-up. Back behind the neck, pull over, retraction, hold it for a second, out, back up, all keeping that resistance. You could do a trillion different exercise variations with the incline bench, bands, and whatever else you want. Experiment, have fun, just be careful. So I got a suspension trainer here, like TRX. If whatever your suspension trainer comes with, you can do these with rings too. That'll work just as well. I just like these things, they're super versatile. These are great, I use these primarily for warm-ups. I use also suspension trainers on vacation or something just because it's easy to stay in the game and takes up no space in my bag. But I'll lean back just a little bit, just kind of, you'll need to vary intensity a little bit. You put a little bend in your knees if you want to. Set your shoulders, and I'm gonna do this kind of a high row. And you could adjust the angle, you could adjust your grip. All right, if you want to try it here, kind of hits the lats a little bit more. Try it down low. Again, as long as your shoulders are back and you're really squeezing things together in the back, it's going to do what it needs to do. So these are great. One more little thing I want to show. I like these a lot. You got to be careful with them, but it's a Y. So I'm going to make a Y. Reaching. I'm doing this up top like that. So start with less resistance than you think you can handle. Back, really reach. Come back in. I'm going to adjust a little bit. Kind of reverse Y flies. Hold it in a second. Those are nasty in a good way. Let's do Indian clubs. If you have some Indian clubs, these are wonderful. These are just 1 pound. I think Garage Gym is the manufacturer. I think there's probably a million different manufacturers. This is like a, what do you call this? Some sort of poly something. I'll just show you a couple that I like. Reach back like you're doing like kind of a lat pullover. Try to keep your elbows parallel the whole time. Reach back as far as you can get before your elbows start breaking. And throw it out. Probably shouldn't do that in front of you, Roy. I'm gonna kill you. They're just a pound, you can handle it. You're a tough guy. All right, start with the elbows locked. You want your pinkies over the ball here. You're gonna reach back. As far as you can go, cast out. Relax, reset. I like to start with those. And then these are sweet. You're gonna put the ends together. You can do these one arm too, if you only have one. Go around. And I'm keeping my range of motion tight. I'm not just kind of swinging it absentmindedly. Through here, and then I'm gonna point these at my head. I'm pointing these at my temples here. Bring it around into that position we just were with those overheads, and then cast out. So it's here, around, pointing at your head for a second, bring it all the way around, cast out. I like this motion. You could also do it opposite, where you come around like this, but something about that, my shoulder just doesn't like that as much. I just try to get that internal range of or that internal rotation through other means, but I really like this when you come out first and then go through. Just really, you can see it in my face a little bit. I'm like really addressing, really kind of pushing for that range of motion there. So Indian clubs are beautiful. It's a good way to end it. I gotta get back to work. Rob Shoecraft, 3Storm Fitness. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. And please, above all, have a wonderful day.